Hello, my name is Delson, and I have the privilege of applying to St. Kate's MSNEL program. I hope to become a nurse someday and would love to pursue that journey at St. Kate's. You guys sent me several interview questions, and so I'm just here to provide you with answers to those. The first one being, how have you managed being a leader while you were also still learning? This is an interesting question because I believe that we're always still learning. Nevertheless, my current role allows me to practice this actually because I'm the night shift lead in the lab at Children's Hospital, and so I manage a team of about 9 other individuals. And I think one of the biggest things that allows me to be a good leader while I'm also still learning is just humility. I'm willing to acknowledge that, hey, I don't know the answer to everything. I don't know exactly where to find this tube for this sample, but I know what our resources are and I know how to find the answers. And so I think just being humble enough to admit that you don't know everything to your team members and being willing to do like the digging and the research and also share resources with them so that they feel empowered to do their jobs well, I think is really important. Also, I think just providing an environment where they feel safe enough to ask you questions is also really important. And so I think those, yeah, just humility and just creating a safe space where coworkers feel like they can ask questions are two things that I think are important when being a leader while you're also still learning. The second question is, how do the characteristics of clinical nurse leader practice align with your personal goals? As I have been learning about nursing and just what it means to be a nurse, one of the things that really stands out to me is that nurses really care about helping patients transition from needing care to being able to going back out into the world and just functioning independently. And as a clinical nurse leader, it seems as though they really focus on evaluating patient outcomes, risk assessment, and coordinating care with various healthcare professionals. And I believe that being a clinical nurse leader just directly aligns with that goal of helping patients transition from needing care to going out into the world and flourishing again. And that is something that I'm passionate about. And I would love to step into the patient care role and work with other healthcare professionals to make sure that patients are receiving the highest quality care that we can provide and that we are appropriately assessing risk. I yeah, I would just love to play an integral role in the patient care experience and making sure that they have what they need to go back out in the world and function on their own. The next question, what are two of your personal qualities that will support your success in the MSN entry level program? So the two qualities I'll name are tenacity and diligence. I think I'm a pretty tenacious person. I don't give up very easily, and when I decide to do something, I stick to it and I do what is necessary to accomplish my goal. I pursue things really heavily and I give my all behind what I do. And I think that just, yeah, that tenacity, that drive, just like motivates me daily. And I don't think it stops at motivation, but it also leads to dedication to the task at hand. And then diligence. I persevere in my goals, and I'm pretty diligent about assessing what's necessary to accomplish that goal. And I'm willing to say no to temporary pleasures in order to achieve that long term goal. I think the most tangible example I have of this was literally just this past semester, this past spring. When I decided to pursue nursing school and I needed to take some prerequisites, I had to juggle being a student and also working full time and also having a social life. And there were many times that I had to say no to temporary pleasures, say no to hanging out with friends or going to see a movie because I was like, I need to study and I also need to sleep because I have a job. So yeah, I think, yeah, just diligence and tenacity are two things that I think will serve me really well in St. Kate's MSNEL program. And last question. Reflecting back on essay question number 2, how will you use the experiences you identified to help you succeed in the MSNEL program? Two of the um, two of the experiences I identified in the essay question were related to self-directed learning and also openness to constructive feedback. I think both of those things will serve me really well in St. Kate's MSNEL program because professors aren't going to be there to tell me every single thing that I need to know. I have to be willing to take initiative and learn things on my own. Also, being willing to ask questions and pursue help when necessary. But I think that ability to learn on my own is going to serve me very well. And being open to constructive feedback is extremely important, I think, in any learning environment. Fostering a growth mindset matters a lot to me. And if you aren't open to constructive feedback, then it's really hard to foster that. And so, yeah, I just think that having both of those qualities and those skills developed is going to serve me well in St. Kate's MSNEL program. Thank you so much for the opportunity to send you this interview.